Live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. And we'll get started here today. Show number 70. After some self-promotion, my latest video is a new song, and it is called That's What Gives Financial Peace. And here is a little look at it. Look at that guy over there trying to, looks like he's phasing out of existence. But we'll see what happens here. Let's give you a little listen to it.
You'll come to know, whoa, whoa, that's what gives financial peace. That's what gives financial peace.
Alrighty, so check that out if you are so inclined. As I said, that's my latest video. You can also find that if you scroll down in the music playlist, both the short version of it, just a minute of it, and also the full screen version of it. Let's get into the questions. We critiqued the budget yesterday, was the last one that we did. Now it's advice needed regarding property. Advice needed regarding from regular positive 14-0 advice regarding property. We currently own a property worth about $200K. It's in a great area, but the house is very old, and although we did some renovations, it has its idiosyncrasies, all right, and we've grown out of it. They're over it. My husband wants to rent it out. We could maybe get $1,500 for it a month, I'm assuming. His idea is we should keep the property we own and mortgage a second one. I say we sell it. We will then use the cash with our savings to buy and own a different property. And you, ma'am, are correct as far as the Dave Ramsey advice. Reason being is we're in Florida where insurance is astronomical and the rent alone may barely cover interest and exactamundo. So yes, you do not do that. You buy, you can have a mortgage on your own property, but it's intellectually dishonest to have a paid off house and then you start renting that one and get a mortgage on another one. You should always sell a property. You don't become a landlord just because you think it's a way to make money. And like you're saying, in Florida, insurance is crazy, and so you should never be a landlord by default just because you want to move. That should not be the reason you become a landlord, like ever. So hopefully your husband will not convince you to do that. Nearby penalty 5777. Should you sell your house to pay off debt? My sister is considering selling her house. She bought for $159K. Right? She got a cash offer for $186K. She owes $145K, and so that would be $4,100. No, $41,000, excuse me. $41,000 that she would get, minus, of course, realtor fees, etc. She has about $26K in debt, and $15K of that is in cars. That would take care of that. She said she wants to sell the house to pay off her debts and rent a while to get her credit score up, save to buy another house. Okay, she had me until credit score. Her mortgage payment with insurance and tax comes out to $1,100, but renting she would need to pay at least $1,500. Yeah, so he advised her not to sell and to just tackle the debt because they're managing well right now. Just curious. Yes. So what our opinion is on this, at least my opinion, yeah, I'm keeping the house. Keep the house because that's going to be your lowest living. I mean, it's $400 a month if you would just be renting, And, why trade selling the house to get the debt over with immediately when you can just pay it off slowly over time? You pay it off as quick as you can, obviously, but you would just basically, you sacrifice more instead of doing the immediate fixed job, which puts you in an actually not much better of a situation. Debt's gone, but you're still doing more rent and you're still going to get another mortgage later. So why not keep the mortgage you have now and just pay off your debt? Follow the baby steps. Where are they? Let's get those on here. There they are. This is from Humble Gemini. How do I get out of this bind? Back in 2019, I bought my first home. I thought I was making the right decision at 40 with not too much income or money to spare. I bought an old farmhouse on 2 acres in Virginia for $140,000. Being from New York City, I wanted a taste of the country life after having been through some troubling events with the loss of my father and younger brother in the same year. Condolences. That's horrible. Against my better judgment, I rushed to buy this place. A few months later, I found the well was bad and had to come up with $5K to, that's when you buy houses and, of course, farmhouses, then you may have issues with it. See what the rest of this is. Well was bad. I had to come up with $5K to have a new one put in. For the past year, my septic has been failing as I live in a flood zone and the ground just can't handle an influx of water after heavy rains, which seems to be the norm. I just had a baby girl and I brought my stepson out of war-torn Ukraine. My wife stays home to take care of our baby. I make approximately $70K a year and have credit card debt of about $10K, car loan approximately $10K, and the remainder of my mortgage approximately $130K. Septic issue is debilitating. It is said that I need an engineered system to the tune of $35,000 just to use the restroom. I have major repairs to do inside of the house, flooring, sheetrock, siding, all of which I can do myself at cheaper costs. I cannot do the septic though and cannot afford it. Don't know if I'd be able to sell with the septic the way it is, and I know I won't be able to afford much more than the $1,100 in mortgage payments I currently make. This is similar to the last one. It's like a lot of times if you sell the house and move, then which you owe still most of that mortgage. If you sell and move, then your rent would be more than your mortgage payment is. I won't be able to buy another house in the price range, right? I make $30 an hour, work overtime when it's available. I'm overwhelmed and don't know what to do. Suggestions are welcome, please. Well, you got choices. You can sell that house, but you're going to have to eat the cost of you have to sell it for less because of the septic tank. So basically, if it's $35,000 to put in a new septic tank, you have to take $35,000 off of what you're going to sell it for. If you bought it for $140K, hopefully it's still worth that. Maybe how long ago was that? 2019? Oh yeah, so it should have appreciated by then. So hopefully it is, septic tank notwithstanding, hopefully it would be maybe, at least 150 or 160 so that you can by bringing it down to 135, you still get, that doesn't put you, maybe a net zero on selling the house. No equity in it, but also are not underwater in it. And then you just try to find the cheapest place to rent, or you can work through it and you have to cut budget stuff. You have to work as much as you can, even maybe get a second job. You can pick your poison sometimes, and this is your chance to do that. So for me, I don't know. I wouldn't have gotten in that situation anyway. I wouldn't have bought a farmhouse, but in a similar situation, yeah, I just don't, I just can't really say. But one or the other probably has to happen. You have to really, really buckle down on the budget and work more. Would do whatever you can do to bring any money in. Sell anything you have of value that you're not using regularly, and that kind of thing. It just depends what you can find. If you can find something closer to 1100 for rent, I would probably sell it and be done with it. Because it doesn't sound like you want to be involved in that, even though you're handy and can fix the stuff inside the house, other than the septic tank. And also, again, don't think that you have to, I've said this before, you don't have to put in $30,000 worth of repairs before you sell it. You just sell it for less if it needs to be. And hopefully you would still get at least break even on it, and that'll let you get out of it. All right, this is from Calamity Gan. Nearly went back into debt. Hi, I just wanted to share a story about how I nearly went back into debt. My wife and I are on baby step 3, a few months away from starting baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Lately, we've been talking about upsizing our car because our tiny 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage hatchback is very cramped for our family of 3. It can't fit 3 in it, despite it being good, very good on gas. We can barely make a Costco run with how small the car is. You have an extra seat in the back for stuff, and also you should have a trunk as well. We're planning on saving for a used SUV, not just a bigger, it's got to be an SUV. Aiming to purchase in cash around this time next year. However, I caught myself in I can imagine, thought about getting a loan on it. And so I'm glad you didn't. So try to wait. I traveled with myself, my ex-wife, and 2 children quite often in a compact car. It can be done. It can be done. Also, grocery store, one parent can go if it's that big of a deal. You don't have to take the whole tribe to the grocery store. Miller C364, auto loan credit cards. I have about $6,000 in credit card debt, currently at average 20% APR. That's not fun. I have an auto loan for $33,000 at 6 to 7%. Is an expensive BMW that is coming up on 100,000 miles and will probably need a lot of work and start breaking down in the next year. You don't know that. Or so, and that will be very expensive. I would wait to see if that happens. I'm wondering if it's better to pay the car down now and trade it in for a more reliable vehicle. No, you would sell it and then buy, both private sale and leave the dealer out of it, which benefits you and the seller or buyer, and it helps you when you are the seller or buyer. Instead of worry about the credit cards, even if they are at higher APR, I'm thinking this will alleviate any extensive maintenance expense on the vehicle, which could, you don't know what's going to happen with it. You could also, if you're joyriding it, that kind of thing, you could also not do that and just drive back and forth to work and the store. You can do that. But yeah, on that, I wouldn't presume the death of a car beforehand. I would not do that. Do the baby steps. And then if something happens with the car, then you can decide whether to fix it or call it, call it time of death, BMW at, and then whatever the time is. What up, CP? Oh, that's why I wear my glasses, because I can't see the chat. How's my Sunday fun day going? Sunday. It's going great, CP. How is yours, sir? That song that you were dreading me putting out, CP, is out now. CP was like, didn't you just put out a song? And I was like, that was December, my friend. August Sussy, 1739, retirement plans. I'm currently 17 years old, a literal baby, as a high school student, junior, with a $17 hour job retail. In the near future, after I graduate, I see myself leaning towards the trade school route to learn electricity or something along that. That's fine. I want to start looking towards Roth retirement options. You do not do that at 17. At 17, you are just piling up cash. You might need a car, eventually move out of parents' house expenses, and of course, trade school or college debt free. So you're just piling up cash now. You're not locking away your money in a retirement account just yet. And that would be the Ramsey advice if you'd like to follow that. I spoke to someone at my bank and they said I should open a Roth 401k with whoever I'm working with, but a financial life planner teacher was telling me that a Roth IRA would be better because slow and steady wins the race. I could see why that makes sense. Yes, Roth would be the way to go if you're not in a job that offers a 401k with the Roth. The only thing that would beat the Roth option would be a match, because match is 100% return on investment. So, but yeah, 17 years old, just pile up cash till you're out of trade school or college and have moved out. And then when you move out and you get a big boy job, then you can start doing the investment. You're 17, you got plenty of time. And anybody that you talk about at a business that can open a Roth account for you, they're going to want to open the Roth account for you because they get money off of that. Vegetable Proof 4906. Time to pay off the mortgage. Question mark. Update. We talked this over extensively last night, maybe. I shared your comments and it's given us a lot to think about that we didn't consider. Good. So it doesn't seem to be as easy a decision as it appeared at first. We appreciate all the help. My husband and I are about to the point where our mortgages are only debt. Okay, that's a great thing that you're there. So that's baby step 6. Assuming you have full emergency fund, which you should, and are investing 15% of gross income into retirement, should be doing that as well. Also addressing kid college and then putting anything extra on the debt. We're currently making the equivalent 3 payments each month, okay, which sets us up to have the house paid for in a little less than 5 years. Great. Part of his salary package is restricted stocks, units, RSUs. We sell at vesting. Yep, all of that is advised. Investing to minimize capital gains and to not tie up investments in the company that pays his salary, as Dave suggests. Indeed. He works for a large tech company that's booming right now. Excellent. It would leave us with around $20K in the bank, but we could take the proceeds of the sale plus money we've saved and pay off the mortgage now. If $20K is your 6-month emergency fund, or is separate from if your emergency fund is separate than that, I wouldn't go down below 6 months worth of expenses to pay it off now. Interest rate doesn't matter. We're already maxing out 401k and investing around $20K a year for retirement stuff. If you're doing over 15%, you shouldn't be doing that. You should back off on that to 15% and pay off the house early. Let's see. He wants to do it. He'll be 40 in May, and the idea of being debt-free by that age is very appealing to him. I can see why it would be. It scares me to tie up that much liquidity in a house, even with the interest savings. What would you do? He works for NVIDIA. Well, how about that? And they are booming right now because they make AI, artificial intelligence chips, in addition to fine video cards as well. for gaming and other things. They also use high octane video cards to mine Bitcoin, in case you kids didn't know that. But yeah, it just depends if the 20K is your emergency fund. What you had in the bank was your emergency fund. If you take it all out by 20K, if that is not 6 months worth of expenses, I'm not doing it. I'm just making you say you're doing making 3 payments instead of 1 a month, and that would be good enough. But you can take all of your savings down to your emergency fund. So you only need to have your emergency fund. So if your emergency fund is in addition to what would be 20K left, if the emergency fund is separate than that, you can go ahead and do it. But otherwise, I would not do that. It'll still be paid off fast. But yeah, any extra beyond 6-month emergency fund should go to the house. Like I said, you can pull back on the investing if it's if it's over 15%. Anonymous emergency car repair. My 11-year car is paid off. Okay, great. Now in the random mystery repair stage. Will I need a new transmission? Will I need $2,500 next month to keep it running? At this point, we don't know, and we won't. You just have to keep it maintained and keep it going as long as you can. Since I paid off all debt except mortgage and have $6,000 so far locked away in high yield savings account, is that just for car repair? When my guy said all my brakes and rotors are shot, oops, they salt the roads where I live. I'm not good at car washes. Okay. His quote was $900, and I said, do it. No worries at all, right? I gave cash for this. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. I know he's getting flack lately, but these little wins are so amazing. That's right. He's always been getting flack from people that don't want to tell themselves no. They just want to buy stuff right now. And so he's always been getting flack for that. This is just more now because it's more platforms for people to disagree with him. And that's fine. They can disagree and do whatever they want. They don't have to. I say this all the time. People don't have to run their life through Dave Ramsey's advice. It's great advice, and they would most likely be better off if they did that. But they don't have to. And so they can just go, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. And they don't have to say, well, he shouldn't say that. You can do whatever you want to do, and so can he, which is tell people this good advice, whether you want to follow it or not. Unbelievable. Environmental Fig 831, encouraging kids to go 6 figures in debt before they even enter the workforce. What's the worst that could happen? Indeed. Well, it's called the student loan crisis. Okay, obligation 1380. Student loan question. So I'm on baby step 2. I have a significant amount of debt I'm working on. 18.2 credit card debt. K. 18.2K. 5K personal loan. 15.5 car loan. Sell the car. I have almost 16K in student loan debt as well. My question is when to fit the student loans in my debt snowball. That would be before the you would count each credit card as a different one, and so probably the credit cards would be first unless it's all on one. And in that case it would be last. So you would do it by individual credit card to get those quick wins and get those paid off immediately. And then it would be the 5K personal loan, and then the 5K car loan, and then your 16K in student loan debt. Like I said, the only way that the credit card debt would not come first if it's all on just 1 or 2 cards, and then it may change spots in the debt snowball, which is smallest to largest amount owed. Not smallest to largest payment, not smallest to largest interest rate. See, they are deferred until February 2025, so the minimum payment is technically donut, right? I have 6 different student loans varying it. So if you had all the rest of them paid off, they would still say to pay it off. But again, you can leave that one because probably you have more than one credit card. Most people would have more than one, especially if you have 6 different student loans from 1,800 to 4,500. So each of those also is going to be separate in the debt snowball. Should I add them into a snowball now and begin making payment on them, or wait till February 2025 and then begin working them into my snowball? I personally don't have a problem with it. I don't know if Dave would or not. I don't have a problem with you since it's deferred. That's up to you. But of course, they are still gaining interest. So that would be up to you. But I don't have a problem with you saving the student loans for last, because that way you get rid of all of the stuff that you definitely have to pay on now, and just do it as quickly as possible. Ping 702. How beneficial is getting a financial advisor to help you? Aren't they just money leechers? Some of them, just like in any facet of life, in any business, there's gonna be bad people in there. Anything in any group, there's gonna be bad people. I think I already had a decent enough plan, but would it still be beneficial to hear a financial advisor out? Yeah, that's free. And when you ask for one from Ramsey Solutions, a SmartVestor Pro, they give you the names of like 5 or so of them, and they give your name to them as well, so you will be getting calls. So, if you have multiple phones, give them the one that you care the least about. If you have different emails, give them the one you don't mind being spammed by financial advisors. But that's how that works. And so you can meet with every single one of them and see what they have to say. Just hate spending the money. I'm hesitant to trust another person who isn't myself with my money. Here's the plan. I'll let you guys weigh in. Main financial goal is to stockpile cash so I can get a decent down payment for my first home. And you do not need a financial advisor for that. You don't need one. You don't need one for that. So I would do that first. But you should be otherwise out of debt and have a full emergency fund. Saving for 20% or more to avoid private mortgage insurance. That's a good idea. And in following the principle of only using 25% of take home for a mortgage. Well, that is fabulous. So far, none of this would it be necessary to have a financial advisor for other than Dave Ramsey, which you're doing what he says to do. I also really want a 15-year loan and not a 30-year or more, so I can just pay that off within 10 years and not $1 million. And you have to do more than want it. You have to say you will not get a 30-year loan. You will limit yourself to what you can afford on a 15. So that's how you do that. You don't just say, I really want it. You just say the 30 is not more than a 15 is not an option. That means my minimum time horizon in the market is 5 years, which I'm okay. What do you mean in 5 years? You're going to use the market for the down payment, to put the down payment. Now you can do that in 5 years because you have an excellent chance of the market being up in every 5-year time period. Let's see, sure, I'll be 40 by then, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I can only focus on what I can control now, right, and prepare for the future. So far, you don't need a financial advisor because you're just going to follow Dave's advice. The plan takes into consideration current housing pricing. I can adjust my plan as the housing market either gets worse or better over time. I'm okay with higher risks, so I made my own stock portfolio after a few months of researching them out. My spread is this. Dave, although he does say that managed funds can make more, he says that 40% of them do make more than the index. He uses S&P 500 index when he's saving for a purchase. That's where he puts all his money to buy real estate in. So as far as you doing, what is that? AI, SaaS. Okay, so that's tech stuff. So that's going to be large cap. E-commerce, 25%, energy, household. I mean, that's up to you. If you researched them, if those are going to make more than the S&P 500 index, so average 10% per year. So after that 5 years, it should be about 50% that you make on your money. Let's see. Reason for the spread is because I'm more invested in the data centers that AI is fed from, rather than the chips that make AI possible. Okay, now the chips are not worth buying. Yes, they are. I'd rather have a wider moat than just AMD and NVIDIA. Yeah, that's why you do want to do diversification, but I mean, it looks like you're giving, you've done research, and it looks like you're giving. I mean, still risky since I don't have bonds or CDs. If you are concerned about the risk, you would just put in a high yield savings account and not make as much money as you can in the market. So let's see. After I get my home, my 401k is going back to 15% contributions versus the 0 I have now. Okay, 5 years is too long for you to be out of the market for investing for retirement. Dave says 3 years max on that. So 5 years is too much. The reason 0 now because I have a decent nest egg based on where I fall in my age group, and I calculated it out, and I'll still be golden when I hit retiring age, meaning I can just be intensely focused on saving for a down payment. I get one to keep the nest egg out, but like that is additional savings. And so, how old are you? I don't think you're. I'll be 40 by then. So he's 35. So you wouldn't need like extra, like a, you don't need a, what's that called? A bridge fund to bridge you from in the last little bit of retirement, so that you make sure in case the market loses money that you're okay. So you don't need that. So yeah, you're doing good investing, but you're overthinking a little bit, and you have extra savings that Mr. Ramsey does not recommend. So you could use some of that for your down payment as well. So you do have to have a 6-month emergency fund. I always recommend 6 months for anybody that's going to buy a house. A new subscriber, thank you so much. Let's see. Not sure if my retiring age matters, as I doubt I'll retire because, let's face it, software development is awesome. Why would I stop doing work I love? Exactly. But you might retire one day. Let's see. I feel this is a solid plan, except for the extra money in your nest egg. So, would you rather have the nest egg there or have a house? Sounds like you want a house, and if you do, you would use that money as part of the down payment and just add to it. And then you wouldn't need to have a 5-year window, and then in that case, you would put money in a high yield savings account to save up for a house instead of the market, because anything goes if it's not a 5-year period. I also don't know anyone who isn't broke, knows how to build wealth for the future, except for maybe all of you here, and not everyone here does. And my views with financial advisors are they're money leechers trying to take advantage of others. Is that true? Am I being paranoid? Yes, not all of them are. There's some good ones, but you're not doing anything that you need help with. It seems like you know how to do. I mean, it would be if these are like individual stocks, you wouldn't want to do that. You would want to do mutual funds. and manage mutual funds for retirement. But this thing, what I think you're talking about doing right now, since you have nothing going in your 401k, all this is just for trying to save for that house down payment. And instead, you could just use the cash you already have, because baby steps don't include save up an additional nest egg in addition to the emergency fund. It doesn't say to do that. All right. So definitely have 6-month emergency funds. So do not use that part. If that's part of it, your nest egg, don't use that for the down payment. Yeah, but you can talk to multiple financial advisors. Hashtag summoner. Work as minister and I need more income. All right, work as a minister and make a great salary, but I'm unable to pay off debt as quickly as I'd like. I want to get another job, but the nature of my job, I'm not able to work just anywhere. At any given time, I can be asked to do a funeral, make a visit, and more. And that happens weekly. Does anyone know something I can do to make a little extra money to get through this debt? Yes, you what would be perfect for you is something like Uber or Instacart or anything like that, where you get to set your hours when you can do it. And then you can just go off the clock anytime you want to when you have to do something else related to your minister job. So something like that. Anything that would involve like delivery like that, where it's ad hoc and you're doing you're only working the hours that you're available. So that would be great for you. Nicholson, sending small investments to pay off credit cards. Sending small investments to pay off credit card. Let's just guess if this person is doing it wrong or not. I would let's see how it works out. I would be tempted here to say yes, but let's see. I have $8,600 in credit card debt, $6,000 on a car loan that I want to pay off. Well, we want to pay it off all. We want to pay off all of the debt. I currently have $1,400 in available cash, plus $4,000 in stocks. You're doing it wrong. As a matter of fact, let's see. You get... See if I can sync it up this time. You ready? Everything you're doing here is bad. I want you to know this. All right. Let's see. So, plus vested company, 4,000 in stocks, doing it wrong. I mean, for the 14 in available cash. So does that include your $1,000 emergency fund? So you would only use 400 of that, if so. But the 4,000 in stocks plus vested company stock, and another 6,900 in a mutual fund. If none of that's in a retirement account, take that out and pay off your debt. Additionally, at the end of the month, I will get a bonus from work that would cover the entire amount of credit card debt, but no impact on car loan. Well, you're going to take out all your other stuff too. So that 1-2 punch hopefully would get rid of most of it. Should I sell my current non-401k investments? Yes. To pay off as much all of the debt I currently have? Yes. Or just pay cash via bonus? Nope. Nope. You should have $1,000 in cash only while you have non-mortgage debt. See if there's anything else that would possibly change the advice. No, or just pay cash via bonus on, and then pile on payments for the car until paid off. Nope. $1,000 in savings, no investments at all. Cash it all out and pay off the debt, and then build off emergency fund, and then do some investing. It's a little thing we like to call the baby steps in order. Steps 1, 2, and 3, you do in order one at a time. Steps 4, 5, and 6, you do in order at the same time, one after the other. You are doing it wrong. Okay environment 6554. I think that person is a frequent poster on it. If you're in Texas, and especially if you're on baby step 1 or 2, all right. What? Just learn that if you open a debit card with HEB grocery store here in Texas, you get a 5% cash back. Excuse me. On all. Was up late last night, streaming, of course. HEB brand products, and they have and then I lost an hour due to daylight savings time. Happy daylight savings time, everybody. They have a savings account with 6% interest, but only up to 2K. Free money. All right. Well, debit card with HEB, 5% cash back on all HEB brand products. How many of those are you buying? So, I mean, I would wonder about that. And will that make you buy more from that grocery store than you normally would in all grocery stores combined? So your overall groceries can't go up, because that would not be good. So you just don't want to get debit cards with some kind of rewards if the rewards are actually going to make you spend more money. You do not want to do that. But otherwise, sure, why not? That's about a particular call. I don't know if I heard that one. Intelligent ad 4646. What age are kids the most expensive? I think this was posted before. I don't know if people are posting the same one over and over again, or like doing them like to bump them up if they're not getting enough comments, maybe. I don't know, or they get reordered somehow. I don't know what the deal is, but I did talk about that one before, and the answer I gave was the age the kids are most expensive is the age that you decide to spoil them most and give them everything they want, and or push them into such things such as travel sports, which are incredibly expensive. So that's what age the kids are most expensive. Beyond that, I would probably think teenage years. Once they are in school and then they want things that their friends have and more things that they see on the social media, etc., etc. Another call link here. So I'm listening. Maybe one day, maybe I'll do if I'm running out of content ideas or something like that, maybe I'll do a show where I take a call or two a week and then delve more into that. That a call that the Ramsey show gets, maybe. Perhaps, we'll see. That Haitian guy. So I'm listening to Wednesday show where it's Dave and Kennedy. He talking about how he regrets that they don't really follow up with people that can call and see if they actually take the advice that's given to them. A lot of people want them to do that because we'd never get closure on like what happens. Let's see. Unless I'm overthinking it, I'm with you. I know what the overthinking's like. Isn't that kind of the whole point of the debt-free scream? Isn't that kind of giving validation that people do take advice whether they call or not? Yes, it is. But people do want to know, want updates, especially certain people where they have interesting story. The Kennedy, is that just the person's name, or was like RFK Jr. on there or something? But regretting that they don't really follow up with people that call, they could implement that if they wanted to. After the call, the screener could ask them if it's okay if they contact them and get a way to contact them to see how it goes and see if they'd be willing to come on the show and give like a month or 2 months or 3 months, something like that, update. They could do that if they want, if they chose to. Bull for life, 74. Pause retirement to pay off house. If you can do that in 2 years, yes, do it. Hey, my wife and I are 28 and 27 respectively. We just purchased a new home. Just babies. You got time. Our only debt is this house. Our mortgage is $200,000 at 7% interest for 25 years. Okay, well, you shouldn't have got that. You did it wrong by getting a mortgage for 25 years. So that makes our mortgage payment $1,415. So if you couldn't have handled the mortgage payment at 15 years, you bought too much house anyway. Let's see, the house is owner financed and he is more than okay with an early payoff. Okay. We currently contribute $500 monthly toward an IRA. If paused that contribution, instead pay $2,000 total monthly, an extra $586.44 monthly would pay off house in 12 years and 7 months rather than, yeah, that's not, Dave's not going for that. 2 years. 2 years, babe, would be the dealio on that. Let's see, would this be wise for the minister? Not the same one from before. And she teaches a private Christian school, so we'll get raises, but slight over the next several years. Yeah, it's too little to, it's too much time. Too much time to not be investing to pay off the house early. And, you know, paying off the house is great for retirement, but you also need to be putting money into retirement, especially since it's only $500 monthly for an IRA because you don't have a 401k at work. So yes, you do need to be investing for retirement. Let's see. So I accidentally opened the whole article, not a new tab. There we go. Why does Dave say having kids isn't that expensive? It's not. It's up to you how that works. Daycare is ridiculously expensive, right? And you have to figure that in when you decide to have a child. You figure that in. You say, okay, so daycare is going to be this much. So if second spouse doesn't make significantly more than that much to cover the daycare plus extra, then there's no need to do that. Then the spouse too can stay home with the baby. $325 a week, yeah, right, and that's daycare. So, but you wouldn't do that. So, like if spouse 2 was making $500 a week, you wouldn't do that. Stupid. Stay home, and then you can find some other way to save money in all the time staying at home. Let's see, a toddler is $575 a week. Right, yeah, that's $30K a year, and then add diaper. Yeah, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but the reality is that kids are freaking expensive in those first few years. You're just talking about daycare, so it's just a daycare issue. They don't eat that much or drink that much, and so or require much else except a nice place to sleep. And that's about it when they're smaller, and then when they're toddlers, you know, it gets a little bit more up there. But the daycare is the problem. The daycare is saying, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." That was not a good rendition of that because I was trying to make it go fast. Let's see. So yeah, daycare is the problem there. So you gotta not have spouse 2 work if spouse 2 isn't making, I would say, about close to twice as much as daycare is costing. Otherwise, it's not worth it because they can stay home and they can also make some other kind of income from home. They can do something. Refried hippie, paid off my car in full. We just bought our house, mortgage $2,200. I do have $10K left on my car payment and $11K in a second debt my husband thought was paid off. Okay. Was that just something he forgot about, or did you not tell him? I want to just pay the $10K in cash for my car. Okay. This will nearly drain all of our savings. Nope, it's supposed to drain all but $1,000 of it. You shouldn't be having more than $1,000. And then we'll tackle the 11K over the next few months. Should I risk my savings to be debt free? Yes. All but $1,000. You keep $1,000. I can definitely use that car payment for our mortgage and debt number 2. Yeah. Yep. Actually, not in that order. It would be debt number 2. And hopefully that's all of it. And then full emergency fund. And then investing. And then kid college if applicable. And then extra on mortgage. But maybe you're just talking about just the mortgage payment with nothing extra on it. So yeah, again, baby steps in order would be the advice. If you have a second job after your Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 job, what do you do? I did not have that. I do not have a second job now, but when I had one, I mean, unless you count YouTube, which I don't make any money at yet. Maybe one day make a couple dollars. That would be great. But I had for 5 years, I had a second job before my 9 to 5, which was actually 10 to 7 job. And I worked 4+ hours at a big hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot called Menards. It's in the Midwest. Their headquarters is in Wisconsin, I believe. And so that worked out great because I did a lot of physical stuff there. And then it was much more relaxed at my full-time job. Fixing computers, as you might think. King Jades. Real estate, small business investors, business cash management. What about it? For those of us in the build massive wealth stage of investing in assets that increase income, what is your cash management strategy within the business? By that, I don't mean physical cash bills. How are you holding the collected revenue not yet allocated to expenses and held on the balance sheet? Like retained earnings, you can put that in a high yield savings account. Yeah, for RE, retained earnings. Specifically, how have you determine the correct amount of cash to hold as emergency fund? Okay. Retained earning emergency funds. Okay. Use the same idea. Do 3 to 6 months. I mean, since it's your business and you don't want to go out of business, you could do 6 months of business expenses as your retained earning emergency fund. What are you doing with the cash above that minimum EF? If you have more than that, then again, I don't know why you wouldn't until you need it. I don't know why you wouldn't have it in a high yield savings account. Person just wanted to hear other people's opinions about that, and that's what I would do. Jumpy Mango 6591. Baby step 2, paid off personal loan. Excellent. Just paid off dumb consumer loan with Lightstream. Feels so good. Now 2 more car loans to go to be completely debt free. Excellent, Jumpy Mango. Make it happen. Creepy Analyst says bi-weekly house payments. I see people talk about them a lot here. I always heard they were better because you save on interest. But when I asked my mortgage lender about them, they said it wasn't possible, that it would be just like prepaying that month's amount. Are they lying to me, or is there something else I'm missing? So it's possible that they don't let you do that. It's possible they don't let you prepay. They don't let you put more. Some loans are written like that. They don't let you put more on the principal. So you should check that out to see that. And you can always ask them, why is that? Why can't I apply that just to the extra to principal? So you do have to ask about that, or read over it yourself. And if you can't understand it, you would have to pay someone else to interpret that for you. But yeah, there are loans that exist like that, and if that exists like that, you signed it, so that would be on you. Weenie 2323. Has Dave ever had same-sex couples on the show? This was on there as well, and I don't recall any. This was another one that got, I think, reposted because or people just putting in the same questions over and over again. That does happen apparently. Flaky Calligrapher 62, net worth millionaire. Well, that's the only kind of millionaire, but they say net worth millionaire because a lot of people think that to be a millionaire you have to make $1 million a year. That's not true. A millionaire is somebody whose net worth is $1 million, and that could be including a house that's worth $650,000 or $800,000, and that would be if the house is $800,000, then that could be 80% of the $1 million of net worth that the person has. So yeah, so they just say make sure to say net worth millionaire because of the incredible amount of people that thinks it means you have to make $1 million net, $1 million a year rather. And so by saying net worth millionaire, they're taking away your dashed hopes that you can be one, because you're like, I'll never make $1 million a year. You don't have to be a millionaire. That's not the definition of it. Unless, I don't know, the current administration decides to change the definition like they did with recession. Okay, I figure it's just a quirk, but I just heard Ken Coleman use that term. Ken is Knuff, of course. Carter Ken. Use that term as well. And just now, a caller. Why? What did they think the term millionaire means if not so modified? Most people, I don't know most, but a lot of people do think it means they make $1 million a year. It is my understanding that we are always referring to net worth by using the term millionaire. Yes, you have the correct understanding. A lot of people do not. There's not a specialized Ramsey meaning to the term. You're overthinking it. I know. It takes one to know one. I know this isn't very important, but for some reason it grates on my ears a little bit. I would like to know the special meaning if there is one. Yeah, I hear you. I have several things like that where it grates on my nerves. Working on my nerves as well. So I hear you. What time is it? It's close enough. This episode of Answering Your Financial Questions with Coach Steve Money is brought to you by Crinkly Water Bottle. Actually, it's brought to you by me, Coach Steve Money. Until further notice, I'll let you know when it's brought to you by somebody else. Of course, I'll do that. But I added the rolling plugs in there. Hopefully, that's pretty cool. But let's see. Let's bring up my other sheet there. There we go. Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you've got money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, or if you just have one single question, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That's a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the whole world, even Cabot, Arkansas. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel, or if you just have one simple question. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money, or like the scrolling says, alternatives to that for donations are Cash App, $Coach Steve Money, and a Walmart gift card to Coach Steve Money at gmail.com. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. The YouTube channel is, of course, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money, where this stream, Answering Your Financial Questions, happens Saturdays and Sundays at Ramsey time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when the Ramsey Show on YouTube comes on at Monday through Friday. What else do we have going up? Ramsey Show After Show. There will be one this month in March, and that is March 20th, and that is approximately 6 p.m. right after the Ramsey Show on YouTube ends. So that, also, I am currently doing random time live streams of playing the older Tomb Raider games. I'm doing Tomb Raider Anniversary now, and then the last one of that particular trilogy, Underworld, I'll start as soon as I finish anniversary. I also discovered I did not ever stream myself playing the most recent Tomb Raider game called Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and so I will be doing that after I finish those two games I previously mentioned. Got a lot of irons in the fire. Late Tuesday nights is No Cap Recaps of The Curse of Oak Island, new episode, and just other video releases here and there. All right, back to questions. Baby step 7, folks. What did you do to celebrate paying off your mortgage? That's fun. HP-12C. Baby step 7, folks. What did you do to celebrate paying off your mortgage? I finally got the final paid in full paperwork. Excellent. From the credit union, and we're officially done with the mortgage. It's great. Obviously, you want to celebrate with a nice family dinner and a trip when it warms up a little, but there's a little spike the football moment for myself. I'm leaning towards a nice, moderately sized, stupid gift to self, and wanted to hear how some of you other Baby Step 7ers treated yourself after achieving this goal. I sold my motorcycle at the end of last season, #season, knowing I would probably want to upgrade once the mortgage was behind me. So you want to buy a bike? And again, same would apply to you in Baby Step 7. You don't buy anything new unless you are a millionaire, which means, again, you have $1 million net worth. And if that's true, then you can do that. And Dave says you shouldn't have anything, all of your things with motors and wheels on them should not add up to more than half of your annual income, because that's too much in depreciating assets for that. But as far as for you paying off your house, my celebration would be, I would definitely play this, which gives me time to get more water. Paid off the house. Excellent. Evaluation of every dollar. I am thinking of switching to every dollar budget app. Interested in the paycheck feature. Right now I use spreadsheet. Okay. Right now I use a spreadsheet, I guess. Is this feature worthwhile for a switch, or stay the course and figure out how to do the same with a spreadsheet? You can try the free version. Interested in the paycheck feature? I don't know what the paycheck feature does, except applies the paycheck to it, but you can do that. In my spreadsheet, I add every single paycheck in on the date. My budget in my spreadsheet is basically just like a future check register. So I put all the expenses have a line item. And then when the income comes in, that has a line item, and that gives me the new balance and so forth. So it's just like a check register, but it goes into the future is how I do it. And I like that much better than every dollar. I did try every dollar app, but did not like it as much as a spreadsheet that I can control and do what I want with it. Using the refund to good use, right? And so if you they wired your money back. They wired it. Interesting. All right, and let's see, this from Doniker 1. Wired the money back. We immediately knocked out one more credit card in our second baby step. Okay, excellent. Our calculator says we'll be done with step 2 in 2028. Student loan, 105K, HELOC 25K, truck 25K, sell the truck, one more card, 9K. Hoping to check in a year earlier with everything paid off in 2027. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. Yeah, so what you want to do, if you haven't done that already, that money that you got sent this time, you can do better with that money in your paycheck every week. So even if it's a small amount, even if you get a $1,000 refund, you can get 1/12 of that in each paycheck, and that would help you progress on your baby steps faster than waiting until April to get it back, March or April, to get it back from the government by giving them an interest-free loan, which there's no reason that you should do that because they don't give us interest-free loans, do they? No, they don't. YYC Glad. How one buy rentals? Cash. I'm in Canada, and housing is super expensive here. How Dave Ramsey principle works for buying rentals here. Canada could be French. I'll give the person a break there. You would still do it the same way. You have to buy them in cash. Any business is built at the speed of cash, and that includes being a landlord. So you would have to be completely out of debt yourself, not even having your mortgage. So your house would have to be paid off, and then you save money for the house to buy a house for a rental. So yep, that's how you do it. Even in Canada, you hoser. Lance PG, when you calculate your net worth, do you include your tax burden? No, I wouldn't. That's overthinking it. That's the same as including inflation in everything. You don't have to do that. And most times the financial bros just include inflation when they want to prove the other person wrong. Like, for example, Dave's saying you can take out 8%. And so that's when they want to include inflation all of a sudden. But, unless you're doing it in every calculation you do, like every time you go to the grocery store, you're thinking, oh, how much has inflation made this go up? I better calculate that in. Unless you do it every single time, it's intellectual dishonesty. And so don't do it. But yeah, you don't need to do that when you calculate your tax burden. No. You don't need, because you don't owe it until a certain time anyway, and so you can calculate your net worth without it, and then as soon as you pay it, you can calculate it again if you would like. Up to you. But until you hand it over, it's not gone. BGIT Marie, should I cash out Roth? And that's a negatory, good buddy. The only time you would cash out a retirement account is to avoid foreclosure or bankruptcy. I opened my Roth 3 years ago. I'm now 23. I have about 21K in Roth, 31K in student loans, and 10K liquid cash. My student loan payments haven't started yet, and I have some job prospects, but no job yet, besides a part-time job. You need to get a full-time job, move back in with family, so very low overhead as far as. Should I consider withdrawing from Roth and taking the penalties, taxes, and paying off my loans today? No, I would not do that. Let's see. It seems the difference between keeping what's invested versus cashing out and starting over would be. I'm going to offer you a third option, as Mr. Ramsey taught me how to do. Let's see, not personally, but just from listening to him. The difference between what's keeping you invested versus cashing out and starting over will be 300K at retirement. So I guess I'm just getting antsy with being at home and realizing that the longer I'm in debt, the longer I feel it's going to take to get on with my life. I think I know what Dave would say, but open to other ideas. So what Dave would tell you is you stop contributing to the Roth while you get your debt paid off. And then if you have any school left, you're cash flowing that and not taking out more debt. And because there's no way if you still have to go to school, what you would do instead of putting extra payments on debt, you would be cash flowing the school instead. And just making minimum payments on everything else. But if you don't have any more school to do, if you're done with school, and so there's not going to be any more student loans, and if you're following Dave's advice, that would be no more loans on anything except a mortgage for a house you live in. Then in that case, you would lost my train of thought. Sorry. Let's see, what was it? Calculations. Oh yeah, so you would stop contributing to it. Leave what's in it, and you just stop contributing it and pay off your debt and get full emergency fund. And then, like, until you get big boy job, just pile up cash in emergency fund. I mean, if you get a 6 months emergency fund, and I would do it for more than if you're going to continue to living with parents to have expenses be lower, I would have it be more than what your actual expenses are. I would check like what the local rent is, like a example place that you would be renting from, like check some of those out and see. But by the time you get done with all the debt and save an emergency fund, then you might be ready to move out anyway. But yeah, you would just stop contributing and then pay off all the debt. That's what he tells anybody that is contributing to retirement at the moment. And then they say, oh, I'm going to follow Dave's plan and do the baby steps. And so immediately you would stop putting new money into the retirement account, and you would use that for a starter emergency fund of $1,000, and then paying off all the debt, and then full emergency fund. And only after that full emergency fund is when you start investment retiring, because that is step 4. And the other 3 things are baby steps 1, 2, and 3. All right, 18 hours ago, we're catching up. We may be out of questions. If we run out of questions before the in 45 minutes, I will do what I threatened to do yesterday, which was go over to reddit.com/r-financial and see what people are asking where Dave Ramsey's not the focus of the subreddit. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, you know what I should do? I should put my other monitor on the stream so I can monitor it. Embarrassed Bugs, 6042. How much liability insurance to carry? As much as you need. I'm curious as what other folks follow as a rule of thumb regarding how much personal liability you carry on your homeowners and auto policies. I have a net worth of about 2.8 million, so I carry 1 million limits. Yeah, that's great. That's a good idea. I mean, the more money you have, the more you need. But the cost of insurance keeps going up. It does. And when I shopped around, I found that carrying auto liability over $500K adds about 25% to my premiums, which are close to $5K annually for our 2 vehicles where we live in rural South Texas. I can only imagine how high they are in big cities, right? Especially where the insurance is most expensive in the state of north of Ohio. But you do have to have insurance until you can self-insure. Now, if you think you can self-insure out of that 2.8 million, then that's fine. But seeing as you carry 1 million limits already, I'm guessing you don't want to chance that, and you would rather pay that close to $5K annually for 2 vehicles. Yeah. So yeah, that's just going to be cost of doing business, of having a $2.8 million net worth. And I bet a lot of people would trade you and be glad to pay the $5K for the liability insurance. So, cost of doing business, being a millionaire. Congratulations. Mad Dog, 6TOE, 6 toe. I'm debt free. That's one too many toes. I finally paid off my last debt yesterday. Had about $20,000 in debt, and it took me about a year and a half. I could have probably been done if I didn't eat out so much, but it's finally done. All right, that's true. You could have. Not could have, probably. You definitely could have if you didn't eat out so much. What do you mean probably? Trying to back it out. Trying to back it up a little bit so it doesn't sound like you did the wrong thing. You did it wrong, but you're there now. And so we started at where we're at now. Now on to baby step 3. Excellent. And don't eat out so much so you can save that better. And also want to save for a better car. Don't eat out so much. put that money towards, instead of saying, do I want to eat out? Or do I want to finish baby step 3 and then save for a better car? Eat out, finish baby step 3, save for a better car. I'm going to do these 2 things instead of eat out. That's how you do it. Oops, got a little excited and was typing fast. The title says free, LOL, not fee. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I did not. Got that by me. Good job. But it won't let me edit the title. Oh, well. Internet giveth, internet taketh away, doesn't it? Grad student 9690, high yield savings account recommendations. Best high yield savings account. Looking for something that will mostly have a fixed annual percentage rate, but IDT, I don't think any high yield savings does. I don't think so either. I think it all is set for a certain time, and then it will adjust to whatever the going rate is. Obviously, no fees, need to withdraw, etc. Excuse me. No fees, easy to withdraw. So if that's your emergency fund, you have to have immediate access to it, because emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for that easy transfer. So definitely make sure you have immediate if that's your emergency fund. Thoughts on it? And I'm wondering if Treasury or money market is better, because I plan on depositing my pay stubs as well. So I don't think you can do that with money, depositing my pay stubs as well. What do you mean pay stubs? Paychecks? With money market and treasury. No, you can't. You'd have to get a regular checking account or savings account for that. You can do that with a savings account in a bank. You can put your entire check in that. Do you plan on keeping for a year or more? And I feel like for me, with treasury and money market, I have to keep buying every month or week. No, the money market is almost the same thing as a high yield savings account. It's not exactly like it, unless I have an incorrect understanding of it. Okay, back. Oh, let's find out, shall we? I did not figure out how to get my logo on here yet, instead of Ellie from The Last of Us. And she definitely looks better than I do anyway. So, and way, way younger. What are we looking for? Oh, yeah. Money market versus high yield savings account. Let's see what Bankrate says. I do recommend Bankrate for checking for the highest high yield savings account rates. Let's see. Yields on money market funds and high yield savings accounts have risen sharply. Okay. High yield savings account and money market. 2 options investors consider. So basically, this is what it looks like. And so you have to read the offer details to get the fine print to see if they have that. And when you actually do a search, and it's not just this ad inside the article here, it does actually sometimes even show on this left side here underneath it, no debit card. So what is a high yield savings account? Okay, money market. There we go. This is what I wanted. I didn't even need the paragraphs if you give me this chart. So thank you for the chart. Bankrate. Are you able to access your money? Yes, but may limited to a certain number of money with monthly withdrawals. Yeah, banks are like that with savings accounts as well. Most of them. They give you like 5 or 6 or something like that withdrawals per month, or transactions at all. And then if you have more than 5 or 6 a month, then there is a service fee on that. Money market funds, you are. Money market is not FDIC insured, but it says it's low risk. Interest rate significantly higher than traditional savings, maybe higher than high yield savings account for the money market. Other fees, none, whatever the fund's expense ratio is. Okay, so money market, I guess you do buy it. Let's read about money markets then, because I thought it was basically the same as the high yield savings account. Money market funds are short-term investments offered by banks, brokers, and mutual fund companies that invest in short-term security, such as certificates of deposit, CD, U.S. Treasury bills, and commercial paper. Money market funds aim to maintain a share price of $1. There have been a few instances where a fund fell below that level or broke the buck, but the funds are not guaranteed. Yields offered by money market funds depend on the current interest rate environment and tend to respond quickly to Fed policy. Which the Fed, the main guy, I forget his name, said that there's something like they're trending towards an interest rate lowerage soon. He phrased it better than that, though. They can be a nice way to earn a return on your short-term savings, but aren't likely to build significant wealth over time. So, yeah, it would just be a short thing. So that's not what you would want to do for a high-yield savings account either. So, yeah. All right. Well, we do learn something sometimes, don't we? Boom, boom, boom. I feel like, this is from OK Blackberry, I feel like I've hit a wall. Debbie just hit the wall. She never had it all. I'm 26 and recently finished baby step 4. That's a good wall. If you're going to hit a wall, that's a good... Well, you don't finish baby step 4 at 26. You're not finished with it. So you either put the wrong number in there, my pal, or you have an incorrect understanding of the baby steps. The problem I'm running into is with no kids and the nomadic nature of my job keeping me from buying a home. That's fine. I really don't have much to strive for financially. You would still be investing, though. I know increasing my retirement contribution is an option, but how do I keep motivated moving forward and not taking the extra money on blowing it on stupid? Baby step 7 flare, so maybe that person meant baby step 7, or I say 4, but then 5 and 6 do not apply. If you know you're going to buy a house at some time, you could start saving for it in the market. You could do that, and then that way you wouldn't have it laying around, so you could do that. Oh, there's nothing else to this. This is all of the question, yeah. So, I would think if you want to buy a house, you would, and you mark a savings as this is house, say down payment savings. And so if you're going to keep nomad working, maybe you have time enough to save up to buy the entire house. And you could, if it's going to be that long, if you think it's going to be at least 5 years, you can put that in a brokerage account. Granted, that's going to be taxed on the way in and on the way out. Not on the way in, but you've already paid taxes on it through your income tax taken out of your paycheck, and then that's basically the tax both ways on it. You pay it out of your regular taxes with your rest of your income, and then when you withdraw it, you have the tax penalty as well on the capital gains. So I don't know. I would be okay with that. That would not put me off. But if you got to put it somewhere where you can't get it, you can do it. You can put it in a CD. Again, you can put it in if the taxes that you'd have to pay on it would keep you from getting it, do that. Do whatever you have to do to make yourself not do something stupid, which is basically the entire way along the baby steps. That's like consistent advice. Do what you have to do to make sure you don't do anything stupid. Anything that caused me to tell you you're doing it wrong. TLZ picnic. Okay. 7 baby steps in Belgium. Hello, everybody. 25-year-old man that lives in Belgium, and I like the idea of the baby steps. Me too. But I find it hard to follow here in Belgium. Why? So steps 1 to 3 is done for me. I have 0 debt. Good liquid for emergencies. But then 4 to 7 In Belgium, you don't have a Roth IRA or 401k. Do you have any tax advantaged? So the only thing you got is saving for pension, and that's around $1,000 a year. So if that's your only option, you would do that, and then you would also invest in a brokerage account. If you don't have any tax advantage plan that your local government offers. And you might consider moving to a place that does, if there's nothing keeping you in Belgium. And work also pays for pension, that's all right. Then I invest monthly for my pension, right? Okay, so in addition to that, which pensions don't make as much as the market, so you would count that as half of the 15%. And so the rest of the 15% you would put on into just a brokerage account. So step 6, paying off the house is really hard because the loans are so high, and you would still do it regardless. And we don't make a lot in perspective. So in Belgium, you pay around 25, 30 years for a house unless you get a heritage. I guess that means an inheritance. But yeah, you're going to pay it off faster than that. You also said after 5 to 8 years, you can pay off your house. So I need to... His first language probably not English, so I'll give him a break on that. It's better than my Belgian, that's for sure. Is it even Belgian? Is that even a language? So I need to pay off another $260,000. They put a period instead of a comma for the thousand. And you can get a second job. Yep, you can. The thing is, you can only make $10,000 with your second job. Why? So if I get another job, I can pay off the house in like 15, 20 years. So it's around 5 to 8 years earlier than normal. I don't know if it's worth the less time with my kids. That's up to you, but you can do it other ways by cutting your budget further. And not buying a house that you can't afford. That's going to take more than 15 years to pay off. So... I understand the cost of living there might be more than the wages that you have, and there's no country where you get a break on that. There's no pass for that anywhere. So I don't know. I can get 7, 6, 6, and 7. Any help? Welcome. Postscript. I work in healthcare, so I'm not self-employed. Right. Okay. So yeah, you would see if there's any tax-advantaged retirement account that Belgium offers. And if not, you would just do a brokerage account. And then you would just keep your nose to the grindstone. After that, do the 15%. Again, the pension amount only counts for half of the 15%. As far as the 15%. So if like you were doing 15% into your pension, that would only count for 7.5 of the 15 that Dave recommends, because pensions do not do that well. Alrighty, and so yeah, again, as far as the house, it's too bad if that's the case. And if you already have a house, maybe you bought too much house, and you can move down into one that you can pay off in a timely manner. Breadcrumbs with a Z, an M and a Z. Concerned about tax hit. Hello, I've listened to the Total Money Makeover audiobook. 24K debt, not including mortgage. I have little money with Empower perishing for management. You're doing it wrong. You shouldn't be having any money with anybody except your people you owe money to. I want to pull out all the money to pay off debt, cancel credit cards, and then put the remainder in better funds. We'll dig into the frequently asked questions. So what you would do, you would take all the money out of that if it's not a retirement account. If it's a retirement account, you would leave it in there. But if it's not a retirement account, you would take all that money out and put it on your debt. You would not invest until you have paid off all debt and have your full emergency fund. So you don't take it out of one investing and put it in another investing platform. and really start maxing out employer retirement plan. You would not do that again until step 4. Step 4, invest 15%. It doesn't say invest any before that. And again, you do 1, 2, and 3 in order. That's the $1,000 emergency fund is baby step 1. Baby step 2, you pay off all debts from smallest to largest. So you don't do anything else. You don't go ahead until that is done. Baby step 3, grow your $1,000 savings in 3 to 6 months of living expenses, fully funded emergency fund. And you don't go ahead until that is done. Then you do 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, which is investing. That's where you begin investing. 15% of your gross income into retirement. You address kid college if that's applicable. That's baby step 5. Baby step 6 pay off that mortgage early. Concerned about the tax hit with my plan? Yep, it's going to cause taxes on capital gains. Does anyone have any suggestions reading their sites where I can figure out what the hit will be? It's going to be on the gains. It's going to be your tax rate on the gains. I owe taxes every year without pulling money out of, right? So you will owe that, but hopefully you will be able to cash flow that since it happens every year. You should be aware of it. How to finance a rental home. Looking for some advice here. 31, stay-at-home wife. 3 young, less than 7-year-old kids, okay? We're looking to move due to some odd neighbors making living here uncomfortable. We owe $240K on a mortgage. 30 years. You're doing it wrong. $1,600 a month mortgage payment. Realtor says we can sell our primary house for $385 easily, so that would give you $145 minus realtor's cut. Realtor do take a bite, don't you? Make $147K salary. So if stay at home wife, you said, so 147 would just be nice and give you 150 because that'll make it easier for me. So that is a $450,000 house that you can afford on a 15-year mortgage. So that does have to be 15-year mortgage. So your mortgage is probably gonna, even on a less expensive house, probably be well closer to $2,000. But you can afford it. You just have to cut out some stuff that you're doing now, apparently. 145 in 401k, 5K in savings, 10K in cash, 0 credit card debt. That's excellent. Monthly debts and needs. What is this monthly debt? What do you have for debt? Cars or something like that? You would not be investing while you were paying that out. Looking to keep our house and rent it, you don't finance a rental home. You're doing it wrong. I didn't even register the title was how to finance a rental home. You don't do that. You buy rental homes entirely in cash, and you don't be a landlord by default for any reason, like you want to move to a better house or something like that. Net worth millionaires, again here, addressed by somebody else. Hearing the term net worth millionaire being thrown around a lot after research, while 9% Americans say maybe millionaires, it seems like only 5% are net worth millionaires. Why wouldn't they be if they're millionaires? See, you're the one that doesn't know what it means. It means your net worth is what it means, not how much you make a year. So if only 9% of Americans make $1 million or more dollars a year, they may not be net worth millionaires because they may have debt. That takes away from that. Shows many people don't know their actual true net worth. Sure, and they just think they are millionaires because they're liquid assets without even thinking about their debt. Right. Yep. And that, guess what? That doesn't matter to you and me. They can think whatever they want, and they're just wrong. They're thinking it wrong. Terminigan Ridge Trail, frequent poster on here. Baby step 4 to 6 flare. Getting old, baby step 6 with windfall coming. Well, any extra money that comes in, whether it be a windfall, inheritance, you found it in the street, whatever, you apply that to whatever baby steps you're on. So that would be 4, 5, and 6. So you can just keep on addressing step 4 as you have, the investing out of your paychecks every week. And then 5, address kid college. You could put some of it to that. If that doesn't apply, since you're older, maybe that doesn't apply anymore. And so just doing 4 and 6. And so you could put some in investing and some towards paying the house, or you could put it all to paying off the house. As long as you're doing at least 15%. Once that's paid off and we pull my Social Security, we'll have a great retirement income. Okay. Working baby step 4 and 6. I've kept my overly stressful full-time healthcare job. He works a side gig he likes. Last 3 years, he's been taking care of his brother, along with another brother who recently died of cancer. Condolences. He was able to die at home with his closest brother there. It was quite beautiful to see the family do this. I'm on FMLA from family leave. From PTSD, we're exhausted. And grieving. He left us an inheritance enough to pay off the house and bump us to net worth millionaires. We have $125K in my retirement. We have $32K in high yield savings account as our emergency fund. Okay. Here's my question. Brother-in-law left a solid will and there are no family disputes, but I'm understanding it will take 9 months for the estate to settle in Washington State. Should we push ourselves back to earning more income again? Me after family leave and him returning to a side gig, or just tighten our budget and use some of the emergency fund to wait for the windfall? You should work enough to make expenses. You don't use the emergency. It's not an emergency. You know you don't have enough money for expenses. So work so you can handle the expenses so you don't have to tap the emergency fund and wait for the windfall. We're very grateful. We appreciate some advice from the community. Yeah, so you don't, I mean, this would be the same thing like some people want to retire early and start and live on the emergency fund when they know they have more money coming in later. Don't do that. Don't do that because you don't know. Where did they say? Bill, brother-in-law left a solid will and there are no family disputes, I'm sure. And it could take more than 9 months, though. You cannot count on government doing anything in time. So do not do that. Oh my goodness, 3 hours ago, and we're at the end. We'll take a little gander into our Dash Financial. 60-year-old caller with nothing in retirement accounts. Yep. Caller 60 with nothing in retirement account. Pay his home, wants to retire at 65. His plan, take $4K a month, save $175K in retirement accounts in the next 5 years. Then once retired, draw $1,500 a month. That's about a 10% withdrawal rate. Work part-time in something that he likes to supplement his income. That might be all right. Depends on what his expenses are. Depends on what his expenses are. Let's see if there's anything new. Let's go back. Let's go to hot and new and see if there's anything new since I started the show. Yes, there is. Let's see. A couple more. Support for jealousy in relationships. All right. Back on track after a rough few years. What do I do about the calls? You can just not answer them and make them leave messages and just ignore them. If worst comes to worst, you get a new phone. The moon cheapest part I can find. Where I'm at, the prices are absurdly high, so I was paying a ton. Tried it for a year while working a second job and got more and more behind on a lot of my bills and felt ill near the end there. I fell behind on a few large payments, so I'm a few grand late on some. I moved back in with my parents and pay them less than half of what I was paying to live. All right, yeah. Unfortunately, you got to dust yourself off and get back out there and work a lot. If you're saving expenses now, you don't have a lot of expenses, so all that money can go back in on the debt. You can get current, and then you can start paying that debt off. So yep, dust yourself off, get back into it. All right, let's just take a little gander over at the, instead of Dave Ramsey, let's do finance is how that's spelled. All right, let's see what we got. Let's do new instead of. We have the Wall Street Journal of reporters covering the collapse of. Oh, ask us anything. Oh, this is a AMA. Okay. Is that how? Does that have to stay at the dot, or can I get to the other questions? Let me grab, where's the... No, this is the thing. How do I get to the home? No, that's not what I want. I don't want that. I want that. There we go. All right. News. People posted news stuff. Saudi Arabia doubles sovereign fund stake in Aramco. Capital One, discover merger dangerous, consumer groups tell Fed. Well, they'll be spending money on advertising together instead of separately, which will be the same amount, which is billions of dollars. Any questions? Will we ever see zero interest rates again? Doubt it. Doesn't seem like it, does it? Could the Indian rupee be accepted as a reserve currency in the United States? I don't think so. Private market funds for HNEW? Something work. Can crowd out co-investment opportunities. All right. A lot of it's things you don't have to worry about because it's out of your control. Husband who eavesdropped on wife's work calls pleads guilty to insider trading. Interesting. Okay. Elizabeth Warren not trying to have Capital One take over Discover. I thought this was not going to be news. I thought it would be just people asking questions. So that's not fine. Where's the... Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. How... Well, let's go by hot then. Oh, I must have accidentally clicked on that one. So that's my bad on that. But you just got people here posting articles instead of asking questions. I guess because they all understand what to do about money already. Okay, well, this is boring. 4 months ago, highest level since 2001. Yeah, but that's the dude that said that rates lowering the rate will be coming soon. All right, so let's try. How about we try budget? I think budget's one. I wonder if there's a debt leverage one. Let's see, but whoops. All right. I use multiple keyboards and they're all different sizes. So that, how about budget? Talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Ellie sang that in Last of Us Part 2. Okay. Why would... Did it go somewhere other than... Did I click something? Reddit.com/r/budget. Maybe there's not one. BUDJT. Oh, there it is. Okay, must have typed it wrong. I was looking right at it. Thought it said budget on there. How to budget in savings. Hi, 22 female here. First started my career type job making $75K a year. I'm so happy and grateful, but still feel like I'm just skimming by. This could be because I'm just irresponsible. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Yep. Cost of living where I am is very high, and so that means you got to spend less money on everything. Trying to find a balance. I get paid approximately $1,000 a week, and after my bills, I have about $300 left over for food, myself, paying off debt, and savings. So yeah, so if that's all you have money left over to do, and you wouldn't put more in savings than $1,000, again, it's not the Ramsey subreddit, but I'm gonna give the same advice, obviously. You would pay off that debt first before having more than $1,000 in savings. I do have 4% check, go to 401k. You would cut that out too while you're paying off debt. So would expect none of these people to be doing the Ramsey advice. So let's see. What time is it? How much? 14 minutes of more fun to see if any of them are. How common is it for folks to maximize 401k to $23,000 per year? That's at least 35% plus of most people's income. So yeah, some of them don't get it. Some of them don't max it, I'm sure. Love to hear how much folks have been contributing. Oh, this person was just posted in the Ramsey chat. Setting up a budget. So I have a question. I've made a budget planner in Excel spreadsheet, hashtag spreadsheet, with my income and expenses, and it's worked well. But I didn't know how you categorize putting money into savings. So I put it in expenses because it goes out of my account. Otherwise, I feel like I can't see what goes out and comes in. My tips. How can I categorize it better? If you're making the Excel spreadsheet, you ought to be able to make something that would work on it. But I mean, basically that is an expense because it is an outgo. So you could leave it like that. Don't have a problem with that. You could combine that and investing if you're on baby step 4. Both considered saving. Budget apps problems. I'm lazy and need an automated system to help me budge. Is that just forget the T, or was the James Stryer abbreviating budget? Otherwise, I would do it all manually. However, I like Mint, despite its quirk, but it's gone now. Yep, tried every dollar, but it wouldn't let me remove categories like emergency fund. That's right, because you shouldn't do that. I'm a Ramsey follower, but I have a fully funded emergency fund and a separate savings account that I don't want to see in my budget app. Ramsey even says to forget about. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you would have to remove it. I mean, you could put 0 and never put anything to it then, if you have it full already. If I have 3 months of emergency fund, should I start maximizing investment into retirement? If that's enough for you, if you have a mortgage, I would recommend 6 months emergency fund. But if you're, for example, single and you have no job or life drama, 3 months is plenty. And so you would still follow the baby steps in order. Yeah, or should I save more cash? So it depends. It depends on your situation. If you have a large family as well, you would definitely want to have 6 months of expenses. So either house or large family involved, like more than two spouses and one child, like something like that. I would definitely go to 6 months of emergency fund. But if you're single, if it's just you, 3 months is fine. Go ahead and invest away. Retire, but not at the expense of paying off your house. Pay off the house first. Only do 15%. So you're not maximizing it. You're doing 15%. How screwed am I? Retirement is the title. Or at least how screwed can I be? Housing has gone insane and I can't invest. A house in my area that was $900 a month is now $2,100 with the price increases and interest rates. You might have to move. I basically have zero self-invested retirement, but I have a pension through a state. It's not a ton, but it'll be decent, right? And decent is Mr. Ramsey makes you count it as only half of what would be towards your 15%. So if you were putting 10% of your income into that would only count for 5%. And so you'd have to make up the other 10% of the 15 elsewhere. Thoughts are, if something screws over the state enough for it to be really worth this, we're all pretty much screwed. Okay, yeah. And it's not a private pension, so it has a close to 0%. It can go defunct if something can. Okay, you're not. You just have to invest more, but the cost of living there sounds crazy, and you don't make enough, so you might have to move. I'm a W-2 and W-9. How should I break down my budget? I want to prioritize retirement and not screwing myself in self-employment taxes. Current rent is $1,200. But for the city I'm in, California, that's incredibly cheap immediately. I mean, absolutely. So I'm willing to up it. I just don't know what to. W-9 salary, $6,000 a month. W-2 salary, $6,000 a month. Okay. I already established LLC that I intend to file S corp taxes for next year. Okay. That breaking down the budget has nothing to do with if you are going to have to pay extra taxes this year that are due April 15th in a month and 5 days or abouts there. It might not be on the 15th. Then you need to cut out all non-necessities so you can cash flow that tax burden that you have for this year. I think that's the question. Budget and sabotaging. So I keep self-sabotaging myself. So this is another one. You got to do whatever you can do to prevent yourself from doing that. Every time I seem to save up around $700 to $1,000 for a small emergency fund to hold and then start working on paying down debt, I start looking for something to buy randomly. Don't do that. That's stupid. Like a laptop or a new phone or anything, just like I want. Like I just want to spend it and I don't really know how to stop. It keeps happening. I obviously need to change something. Yeah, like how can I not hold $1,000 but wanting to save the 100 times that eventually? Also, is my below budget reasonable currently? Let's take a look at that budget then, shall we? And then we'll call it a stream. What else? Do own my own unit and have no cars. I walk, take public transport. Only thing I would do, $800 to $1,000 for it is maybe hot water system goes out or just house appliance. You would still have the $1,000 emergency fund, dog. Do not do that. You got to figure out a way to make yourself stop doing that. Income $1,149. Weekly salary after tax. Startup. What is that? recently went up due to building works. Council rates $35. I don't know what that is either. Something in a different country apparently. Electricity $35. That's great. And water, phone, fine. Internet, fine. Groceries a month. Or is that a week? If that's a month, that's fine. Maybe if it's just one person, that might be a little bit. You could cut out a little bit of that. Personal spending, you could cut that out. Make your personal spending like $10 a month. You got to pay the minimums on the loans and extra. Extra loan repayments $240 going to it right now. So so you wouldn't do that. You don't do that. You don't do $50 a month to the emergency fund and also have extra savings. You're doing it wrong. And then putting extra on loan repayments. You get the full $1,000 and then you stop saving and you just pay off your debt. You're doing it wrong. So yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything that you can cut out. I don't know if all this does add up to that. Let's see. So that's 333 and 11 out of 343. 378. Um, 378. That would be 393. 413. 427. 577. Again, you cut that out. 577, 677, so that's like 700. I'll just ballpark remember. I should have done the calculator for this. Sorry. 750. So that's a little less than 800. And then all of this goes to emergency fund until it's done, and then all of the extra goes to that. So that's 800. Is it 3? Yeah, I think you have other stuff in there. So yeah, you could definitely cut out some stuff and send, and your snowball would be more than 240 because you don't have a savings amount in there ever beyond emergency fund. You just have emergency fund. Unless you're doing a sinking fund for new tires or something specific like that, not just general savings, because apparently you'll spend that anyway. Alrighty, fun times in the budget subreddit. All right, again, new track dropped today, as the kids say, and that's what gives financial peace. That's what gives financial peace. Do. All right. So check that out if you're so inclined. Other things I have, of course, are this stream answering your financial questions. With Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money. That's me. Hey, the music playlist that has now 9 Ramsey adjacent songs in it. And the Ramsey Show After Show. One of those coming up on March 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video on YouTube ends. And of course, answering your financial questions is Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, both of those days. All right, give outro plugs in case you needed the information again. It's on the scroll as well. Coach Steve Money, my Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you are going the right track. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the world. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel, or even if you have one financial question, you can ask at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also come in my chat on this show or the Ramsey Show After Show and ask there as well. Channel donations, in addition to paypal.me/coachstevemoney, there is Cash App, $Coach Steve Money, Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also eligible for super chats and super thanks now. Thanks to all you fine people, all the Okies and the Baby Steppers and video game fans and whatever else who have subscribed to me. Thank you so very much for that. About I have 30, what do I have? I have 935 or something like that. What's on there now? 934 subscribers, so well on the way to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll probably be posting more stuff because I am about a little less than 500 hours watched in the past year away from full monetization. Did I already say? Oh, I got distracted. Add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money is the Instagram, and youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. The upcoming streams, I already talked about answering your financial questions. Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Ramsey Show After Show, March 20th. It is a Wednesday. Also, I'm playing older Tomb Raider video games. And I'll be playing the latest as soon as I finish Anniversary and Underworld. Yeah, it is Underworld. Anniversary and Underworld. I will be playing the most recent game called Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I was surprised to find that I have not streamed myself playing that yet. Alrighty. So again, thank you so much for listening, watching, and please subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, and comment if you haven't. Thank you so much, and as always, make smart financial decisions every day.